Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to my channel. If you're an oldie but goldie, hi girl, how you doing? Hi guy, how you doing? Welcome to my channel, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Before we go on, if there's some noise, I think there's some construction going on around, so I'm sorry if it's really noisy. So today we're going to talk about something that I'm very passionate about, something that has helped my life, and I'm very thankful to this tool, you know. So if you guys don't know, I've been on a weight loss journey. I've been on a weight loss journey since January, but between January and I think for 1 month, in the whole month, like between January and the beginning of February, I was like, that's when my journey was, and I lost I think about 3 or 4 kgs. And then things just went haywire and I lost momentum and I lost steam, and I started my weight loss journey again on the 1st of October. Why do I keep saying November? Sorry guys. On the 1st of October, and now today is the 10th of November. Yes, today is the 10th of November, and so far I've lost 5 kgs. Could have been more, but I got sick in between. But I think could have been more. Like I got sick and I was in hospital. Long story. I'm gonna link the video where I explain all that down below. So intermittent fasting, what is intermittent fasting? I asked several ladies in the flat tummy group, hey girls, and I asked you guys to just give me the questions, and so I'm going to try and answer the question, like to try and explain this whole video surrounding the questions. Okay, so what is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting, to begin with, is not a diet. It's a lifestyle. It's not something that you do for 10 days and then you expect to see results. No, it's something that you choose and you purpose to incorporate into your life, maybe even for your whole lifetime. It depends. Like, it depends on what your goals are. Like, do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain weight? Do you want to maintain your weight? It just depends on what you want. And so it's a tool that you use for your weight loss. That means that you can use it together with, you should be using it together with a proper diet, and you're supposed to be using it together with going to the gym. So it is a lifestyle, not a diet. So basically what it is you scheduling your meals in a certain set time. So what you have is, when you're eating, when you're having your meals, it's called the feasting period, and when you're not eating, it's called the fasting period. So basically there's many methods of fasting, the common one being the lean gains. Are they called lean gains method of, I don't know, it's called the 16-8 method, where you fast for 16 hours and you eat for 8 hours. This is the most common form of intermittent fasting. However, people like me have modified it and we've made it our own by changing up the hours. You can change the hours to suit your lifestyle, but basically the format that they used and the format that they tested their people with was the 16-8 method. So you fast for 16 hours and you feast for 8 hours. 16 hours might seem like it's a long time, but 8 of those 16 hours you're probably asleep. So for example, let's say person X decides to take up the 16-8 method of intermittent fasting. They decide, I'm gonna start eating my meals at 12 noon. 12 p.m. I'm going to start having my meals, and that means that they're going to finish their meals at 8 p.m. So from 8 p.m. until 12 noon the next day, they are fasting. Yes, they're fasting. So they're fasting for 16 hours and eating for 8 hours. Do you get what I'm saying? So from 8 p.m. at night till the next day at noon, they're not eating. And then from 12 noon till 8 p.m. in the night, then they're eating. Within that period of time that you're supposed to eat, you're supposed to actually have all your calories. If you've done your calculations and you've seen that your daily calorie requirement is 1,200 calories, then that's the amount of calories that you're supposed to have. So think of it as having maybe breakfast at 12, lunch at 3 or at 4, and then dinner at maybe 7:30. That's just the way you're supposed to think of it. I think it's a nice method because, I mean, you do get full, so you probably can't cut down on your snacking and your snack time, so you probably have just like 3 large meals. This is also good for those people who don't like small meals. I find that when I eat in the morning and then I snack, and then like I'm consistently hungry throughout the whole day, and so I just like having, let me say this, I get so frustrated when I've eaten and I'm not full. Does that make sense? I can deal with hunger, like, you know, like the fasting hunger. In the first few weeks, you're gonna struggle with the hunger, I'm not gonna lie, but I'd rather deal with that hunger that I'm hungry and I'm not eating, versus deal with the frustration of, oh my god, I've eaten but I'm still hungry. So if you're like me and you prefer to have full meals where you have your full meal, then intermittent fasting is for you. So like person X, they'll have, that's the number of meals. Now personally, I do the 24 diet where I fast for 20 hours and I eat for 4 hours. Now you might think that this is little, but it's just because I saw even with the 16-8, I was still getting frustrated. I thought that the period of eating was way too long for me. I reduced it to 18-6, which is fasting for 18 hours and feasting for 6 hours. And now I'm at 24. So basically I start eating, maybe I'll start like at 2 p.m. if I'm really hungry, hardly ever. I'll start at 2 p.m. and then finish at 6 p.m. Or I'll start at 4 p.m. and finish at 8 p.m. It's just, it doesn't matter. I'm flexible with it and I do whatever suits me at that particular time on that particular day. The next one is called the eat, stop, eat method, where you eat today, you fast 24 hours tomorrow. You eat today, you fast 24 hours tomorrow. Then you have the 5-2 method, where you fast for 2 days of your week. So 7 days in a week, you fast for 2 days of your week, and in those 2 days that you fast, you're allowed 500 calories maximum, and the other days you eat your normal but healthy diet. You might ask me, okay, so if you're having the same amount of calories and you're working out the same, why is it that you'd lose more weight doing intermittent fasting than you would, you know, having your normal calorie restriction? And the reason is because, let's get into science. Whenever you're in a, whenever let's say we have a piece, let's say we have rice and beans, my favorite. Let's say I have rice and beans at 8 p.m. at night. That food is gonna take 6 to 12 hours to get digested. So for the 6 to 12 hours, what is my body using as fuel? It's using the glucose that comes from the maize, the rice and beans that I ate. So between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m., that time when I'm probably asleep or, you know, just being lazy, my food is using glucose from the food that I ate as my fuel. But between 8, once there's no more food in your system, between 8 o'clock and 12, those 4 hours where you're giving yourself, what happens is your body starts using fat as fuel. So what happens is the difference between having just a normal calorific deficit as a diet versus having intermittent fasting is that intermittent fasting targets your fat cells. Other methods target your calories, but you want to target your calories and your fat cells. Are we together? Now, the question that people are gonna ask is, am I not going to get into starvation mode because I've skipped breakfast? I don't know, I've skipped, I don't know what meal, I don't know what. Listen guys, all that's nonsense. I'm sorry to be so brutal, but it is, and I'll explain to you why. There's people dying of hunger. Don't you think if that was the reasoning, that the less food you have, the more fat you store, don't you think that they'd be the fattest people? The people who are in, you know, who are dying of hunger, don't you think? Don't you think the whole starvation mode is all a theory? So all that about not having breakfast is not true. It's a lie. There's nothing like starvation mode. All these are just theories. What I do know is, if you skip meals, if you have, today you have your meal at 9 o'clock, then tomorrow you have it at 2, then the next day you have it at 6 a.m, the next day you're having it at 8 p.m, your body is not sure when you're gonna give it food, and that's when it's gonna grab onto whatever fat it has, because it's not sure when you're gonna feed it. So it's like preserving, because it's not sure. If today you're feeding it at 2 o'clock, then tomorrow at 5, then your body gets confused. And that's why you're told, choose a method and stick to the time. Stick to the time that is suitable for you. If it's 12 o'clock and you're sure every day at 12 o'clock you're gonna eat, it's fine. Because every day at 12 o'clock, your body knows, okay, at 12 o'clock, my owner is gonna give me food. Not having your breakfast, the reason why some people discourage it is because they believe that once you don't have one meal, then you're gonna binge on the next meal. So let's say I don't have breakfast, I'm gonna overeat when I have my lunch. But with intermittent fasting, what you'll realize is within your first 3 days, your appetite is gonna shrink like by 75%. So we've talked about the types and the methods, and we've talked about what intermittent fasting is. Now the next question is, what are you supposed to take during your fast? Now a lot of people have different methods of saying what it is that you should have. Personally, I think that anything that you're told to do, whether it's a diet or it's a lifestyle or it's working out, I think you need to take it and make it your own. You need to take it and modify it. So people tell you that, okay, I'm going to tell you what is the rule book. First of all, you're supposed to have water. You can have green tea with no sugar, no honey, no nothing, no milk. Basically, what you're supposed to do is have items, foods that are 0 calorie. Basically, in your fasting state, you should be at a 0 calorie state. So water is fine, sparkling water is fine, 0 calorie drinks are fine. Like Diet Coke is fine, but I don't think that's wise. But they do allow Diet Coke, but I don't think it's wise. I would not advise. You can have your green tea with no sugar, no milk, no nothing, 0 calories, just the tea bag and the water. You can have black coffee, no sugar, no creamer, no nothing, no honey. So you can have any kind of tea, you can have any kind of coffee, you can have anything that you can drink that is just the thing itself. You cannot have hot chocolate because it has sugar and it has other powders in there. You cannot have, so tea, all kinds of herbal teas, you know, I don't know, hibiscus tea, lemon tea, ginger tea. You can have all rooibos tea, you can have all those teas. You can have coffee, you can have water. I'm just trying to emphasize. Now, personally, I usually think that my fasting period is so long, so I like to make my coffee. I will use pure almond milk, so I'll have a whole 250 ml of almond milk, and I'll have my coffee in there. And sometimes, depending on how I feel, I'm gonna have a tablespoon of coconut sugar, or I'm gonna have stevia. Stevia is 0 calorie sugar. Like if you want something sweet but don't want the effects of sugar, go for stevia. The only problem is that it has an aftertaste. So that's what I usually, or you are supposed to have during your fasting period. And when it comes to working out, they suggest the best time for working out is when you're in a fasted state. Yes, you heard me right, a fasted state. It sounds crazy, but think about it. If you're in a state where your body is using up cells, I did explain before that the difference between having just a normal calorific deficit and having intermittent fasting is that you're targeting your fat cells. So think about a situation where your body is already using fat cells as fuel, and then you go on ahead and you work out when you're fasted. Like that's like double fat loss. Do you get what I'm saying? In the fast, initially, like when I worked out during my fasting period, I really struggled. I'm not even gonna lie to you, you're gonna struggle the first few days. Anything with intermittent fasting in the first few days, you're gonna struggle. I struggled the first few days, but once you get through it, you find yourself actually more stronger. You feel lighter and you feel stronger than you would, you know, had you had eaten or had you had a pre-workout supplement or whatever. So there's two kinds of people. There's people who eat whatever they want. They're gonna have their pizzas, they're gonna have their burgers, they're gonna have whatever it is that they want, but they will still intermittent fast. And then there's people who, like me, who I'm scared of getting sick, so I'm gonna have my nutrient dense food. What you eat, this is bad advice, but what you eat with intermittent fasting really does not matter. But that's if you want to lose weight. It doesn't matter. If you want to be healthy, it does matter. And that's why I cut out all the things, the processed foods, the everything. I don't eat all of that. Now, this is the catch. Personally, I have an 80% high carb diet, and that's because majority, I wouldn't say vegan, but majority of my nutrients come from plants. I don't eat anything that is plant-based. I don't do dairy, I don't do eggs, I don't do bacon, I don't do any of that. I don't do meat, I don't do chicken. I don't do pork. The only thing I eat is fish, and even that's not like an everyday thing. It's just once in a while. You know, I have a lot of smoothies, I have a lot of veggies, I have a lot of beans, you know, legumes. I have a lot of legumes, a lot of brown rice. I do have a lot of like soya patties. I have bread. I don't limit myself on the bread, but I make sure it's whole wheat brown bread. I do have a very flexible diet. So yeah, that's basically my diet. You don't have to stick to any particular diet. Obviously, I'd suggest choose a healthy diet. Carbohydrates are not bad for you, but processed carbohydrates are bad for you. Processed carbohydrates, we're talking about cakes, we're talking about sweets, we're talking about, you know, bread should be an occasional thing. However, the brown bread is not so bad. So anything that is processed or manufactured or has been created by something we don't know, then that's definitely not good for you. Vegetables are carbohydrates, fruits are carbohydrates, legumes are carbohydrates, rice carbohydrates, potatoes carbohydrates. I do have a lot of potatoes. Potatoes are carbohydrates, but they're all good carbohydrates for you. I suggest starting with 16-8, struggling through that, and then when you're comfortable with the 16-8 method, maybe climb your way up to the 18-6 method, and then climb your way up to the 24 method. There are people who even do 23-1, meaning they fast 23 hours of the day and they have 1 hour to eat all their food. So it's just what works for you. That's what you're supposed to take. In terms of exercise, I say work out as much as you can. Continue with your normal working out schedule. If you cannot work out because of health issues, this is a very, very good method for you to lose weight without having to work out. I mean, I was sick and I still lost weight, but I don't encourage it. I think if you want to be healthy, you might want to walk or have an active lifestyle or something. One of the questions that I got was, or that I get a lot, is it something that I have to do all the time for me to lose my weight? Or is it something that I do like for 6 months and I'm done? And does the weight come back? Now, I'm going to tell you this. When I did intermittent fasting in January, and when I was doing my weight loss journey in January, I lost my weight, but my weight didn't come back. When I was sick in hospital, I gained weight, but that was water weight because my body was actually swollen from all the IV. And I lost it then, but I went on to lose even more weight. So with intermittent fasting, unless you're really overdoing it, like I personally have not gained weight, which is very interesting. I haven't gained weight. The whole period of time between February and October when I didn't work out, I was the same I was 64.5 consistently through the whole year, and I was not eating well and I was not working out, but I was just the same weight. Was that intermittent fasting? Not really, but I would try to monitor what I'm eating. But I had more bad days than I had good days, so I would try monitor what I'm eating. I was not intermittent fasting, so to speak. I was having a lot of sugar, so I didn't gain my weight back. Let me not lie to you, I'm the kind of person who breathes food and I gain weight. So I did not gain weight in that situation. It is something that I think that it's a good tool for you to use to lose your weight. And once you get to your weight that you want, let's say like for me, my goal weight is 54 kgs. Once I get to 54 kgs, then I'm probably gonna cut it down to maybe intermittent fasting, maybe every other day. However, I like the lifestyle so much that personally I think I might continue with it because it's easy for me. I'm able to, I don't feel, guys, do you know, I get so frustrated when I'm hungry. Like I eat something and I get hungry, I just get frustrated, and I don't like that frustration. I'd rather deal with the frustration of, okay, you know what, you're hungry because you've not eaten, get over it, girl, move on. But the frustration of I've eaten and I'm still hungry just gets to me and it drives me crazy, and so I find myself munching in the house all the time, which is not the case with intermittent fasting, and why I might actually continue with intermittent fasting for a long time. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, or even better, I can just have an intermittent fasting Q&A once I'm done with this session, so I can put these videos up and then you can ask me questions based on that, and I can do a whole other video answering all your questions. I don't know if that helps you. This is a very nice method of losing weight. I'm telling you, nothing has worked for me. For years, I've been trying to lose weight for the past almost 4 years, and nothing has worked for me. Everything that I've tried, I've slipped off of it or I've failed, and this is the only thing that I've stuck to, the only thing that has kept me going, and the only thing that I've seen results. I am currently the weight that I was in high school. Like, can you believe that this is the weight that I was in high school? It's unbelievable, but I'm proud of myself and I'm proud of where I've been. So guys, please leave your comments and questions and everything down below. I know many will not disagree with my methods, and that's fine. We cannot all be the same. Leave your comments down below. I'd like to hear what you have to say. And yes, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.